Blizzard revealed 3 classes for Diablo 4 at BlizzCon 2019. Barbarian, Sorceress, and Druid, and 15 months later the returning Rogue class was revealed at BlizzCon. The 5th class was just revealed to be the Necromancer. Whether via trailers or dev updates, Blizzard has given a lot of information about Diablo 4's various classes, so let's dive right in. The Barbarian class is exactly what it sounds like, a storm of swinging weapons both blunt and sharp, tactless, brute, and unforgivingly effective. His special abilities include one that projects a wave of energy to damage surrounding enemies, as well as one that buffs attacks and covers the Barbarian in flaming runes. The Sorceress takes a more tactical approach to combat, choosing to attack foes from afar using projectiles including fireballs, ice arrows, and a honing bolt of lightning. And as we learned in a dev update, the Sorceress class has a unique enchantment system that lets you enchant skills, thereby making them additional, passive moves. For example, you can use Meteor as a normal, active skill, or you can slot it as an enchantment, which would call fiery space debris down from the sky and onto your enemies periodically. A return to the series from Diablo 2, the Druid class is back with a new design and magic skills. In place of fire magic, storm and earth magic power the Druid's attacks. Shape-shifting magic transforms the Druid between human, werewolf, and werebear, which will likely be central to most Druid builds. Diablo fans of a certain age will remember the Rogue class from Diablo 1. But it sounds like Diablo 4's Rogue is a whole new beast. The Rogue in Diablo 4 is a versatile class that serves as a sort of hybrid of the original Rogue's long-range skill set and the cloak and dagger melee of assassins from Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. You can check out the Diablo 4 Rogue trailer here. Finally, the Necromancer sounds like a good mix of old and new. Yes, you'll still be raising the dead to do the dirty work for you, but there are some changes to how that works. For example, in a comprehensive dev update, Blizzard explained how the new Book of the Dead feature will allow you to customize your undead army in all new ways. Diablo 4 Seasons and Monetization. The most recent quarterly update was about Diablo 4 Seasons and live services monetization, the latter of which is a particularly hot topic following the backlash over Diablo Immortal's microtransactions. Blizzard says Diablo 4's Seasons will be much more ambitious than Diablo 3's, though the basics are the same. There will be a full reset every season, meaning you'll enter a new questline with one character, brand new and no gold or items from your old build. There will also be season passes with both paid and free tracks, offering unique cosmetics and premium currency for use in the in-game store. But don't worry, the in-game store will only have cosmetic items, so no one should be able to spend money to get an edge in the game. There will be XP boosts available in the Season Pass, but they'll be free for everyone and tied to achievement milestones. So once again, Diablo 4 appears to be avoiding the dreaded pay-to-win pitfalls of games like Diablo Immortal. Diablo 4 CROSSPLAYX. We know Diablo 4 will be released on a variety of platforms, but we don't yet know if players on all platforms will be able to play together. It's still hopeful, but it's anything but confirmed at this point. Fortunately, Diablo 4 executive producer Alan Adam hopes to make cross-platform play possible. Speaking to The Telegraph at BlizzCon 2019, Adam said there were technical hurdles to overcome, but crossplay is our goal. Diablo 4 PvP. Fans of old-school RPGs, including the first 2 Diablo games, as well as MMOs like World of Warcraft and Ultima Online, will appreciate that Blizzard has confirmed PvP for Diablo 4, Diablo 3 7 years ago, and it was never properly deployed. It obviously won't be like Diablo 2's open PvP and will be completely optional. Speaking at BlizzCon 2021, he confirmed that there will be PvP zones, called Fields of Hatred, that players can choose to enter, and it won't affect the main quest or story. That said, you'll be rewarded for entering the PvP zone with Hatred Shards, a special currency you can collect by killing monsters, completing events, opening chests, and, yes, killing other players. Entering PvP zones is a high-risk, high-reward activity, as to use Hate Shards you must first clear them, making you a prime target for other PvPers. But if you manage to escape with a few disinfected Hatred Shards, you can spend them at special vendors for costumes, weapons, and mounts. So PvP in Diablo 4 is an optional but valid trade-off, and Fields of Hatred isn't just about PvP. There are also PvP events and bosses to defeat, just watch out for other players. Or, if you're the type other players need to watch out for, you might find yourself with a powerful bounty waiting for you. Diablo 4 features a system called the Vessel of Hatred that places a target on the head of the bloodiest P-cur in the Fields of Hatred and handsomely pays the player who ends their reign of terror. Remember how I mentioned the high risk and high rewards of Fields of Hate? Well, it's not that risky that if you die you'll lose all your loot. Dying in PvP areas just means you lose any Hate Shards that haven't been purged, which can be quite devastating depending on how many you've collected. And much to my delight, down players lose an ear so their killer can get it back. It doesn't matter, it's just a trophy for the winner and a catalyst for the dead player's revenge. Diablo 4 campaign duration. Blizzard has confirmed that Diablo 4's campaign will last approximately 35 hours. More details. Lilith returns as Diablo 4's main antagonist. The Daughter of Hatred has likely been confirmed as Diablo 4's #1 big baddie. Lilith is an extremely tough demon who we last saw in Diablo 2's Pandemonium event, and is known as Mother of Misery, Queen of Succubi, Mother of Deception, and Mistress of Treason. Looks like Lilith went from super boss in Diablo 2 to one of the main antagonists in Diablo 4, at least judging by the reveal trailer. This is by far the best look we've had on Lilith with a good anime, backstory and lore. The design is radically different from what we saw in Diablo 2 a long time ago, this time with far fewer members. Diablo 4 locations are about credibility, not realism. Blizzard has revealed that Diablo 4 will have 5 distinct regions and hundreds of dungeons. Art director Chris Ryder added that weather and lighting play a bigger visual role than in previous Diablo 4 games, but also that the team goes for credibility, not realism. Some of the areas that received name verification were the Skoskland Coast, home to forests and werewolves, Orbe Monastery in the Dry Steppe in Kyovashad, an oppressive medieval-style settlement. Blizzard also ensures that player demand for dungeons to conquer is met through clever development techniques. To support over 150 dungeons, we needed to change the way we create environment art so that it was flexible enough to be used in multiple locations rather than just one dungeon, says Brian Fletcher, Associate Artistic Director. Diablo 4 uses dynamic dungeon tile sets that can be rearranged to create a wider range of environments, which means Diablo 4 should feel less the same as you endlessly grind your characters. Diablo 4 exists in an always online shared world. Diablo 4 seems to be embracing its MMO side, as the new entry requires a constant internet connection for players to play together in a shared world. Dungeons are instanced, meaning you won't find random hits when raiding with your party, and key story moments won't be interrupted by other players. But you will meet people who roam the cities and attend world events. Details are vague, but Blizzard says they're working on a way to create a shared world with random player encounters without compromising the studio's goal of giving the game a darker atmosphere more akin to Diablo 2. Diablo 4 is not a full-fledged MMO. In a Diablo 4 developer update, game director Luis Barriga took the time to clarify that despite some similar features, Blizzard's sequel is definitely not an MMORPG. Our goal has always been to incorporate elements of shared world games without ever making the game feel like it's veering into massively multiplayer territory, Barriga explained. To be clear, this is more of a philosophy than a technical constraint. We notice that the game no longer feels like Diablo and the world feels less dangerous when you see other players too often or in too many numbers, he continued. While they technically exist in a shared world, all dungeons and key storylines are experienced privately between you and your party, with no interruptions due to chance. However, you'll find other players in towns wandering around when no story moment is in progress, and you'll likely want to coordinate with others during major world events. Diablo 4 will have microtransactions. Lead game designer Joe Shelley appeared to confirm the presence of microtransactions in Diablo 4, speaking with Twitch streamer Quinn69 at BlizzCon 2019. When asked by the streamer about microtransactions, Shelley said, Diablo IV will be available as a base game and ... will have expansions. You can also buy cosmetics in-game. The streamer then asks, so, MTX, is he passing through some kind of shop? Shelley responds vaguely with its very early ... but yeah. So it looks like cosmetic microtransactions will be a feature of Diablo 4, but hopefully Blizzard is wise enough to refrain from adding player benefit microtransactions in game situations, as we've seen earlier that pay-to-win mechanisms can often lead to disaster. Even for the most common games, Diablo 4 character creator offers more in-depth customization than any previous Diablo. Blizzard has said that the Diablo 4 character creator is much more in-depth than other games in the series. Of course, that's not a high bar to clear. The only thing you can decide when creating a character in the current Diablo games is gender. But that will all change in Diablo 4, where you'll have to choose skin, hair, eyes, fur, metal, and apparently the streams of your character can regulate the perspiration on the skin. We built a robust character customization system that is completely new to Diablo, and was a daunting amount of technical character work, explains art director John Mueller. These solutions needed to work not just for a single character, but for hundreds of composite armor sets, different body types, dozens of unique characters, and completely unique art across 5 different classes. Diablo 4 has a choice mode. Blizzard says a common request from fans is the ability to the primary skill to a button that isn't left-click, and so it's been confirmed that Diablo 4 will feature left-click rebinding. Further, all skill slots will be able to have their keys rebound. That should please players who prefer not to use the same button to move their character and use their primary skill to attack. Personally, it's become so second nature to demolish my left-click button hacking through dungeons that I couldn't imagine it any other way. But it's good to hear Blizzard is doing their best to accommodate all playing styles. Diablo 4 has cannibal monsters. Diablo 4 has cannibalistic monsters. As you may have already learned, Diablo 4 groups its monsters into different families. Blizzard revealed a new monster family in February, and I can't wait to dig my dagger into as many bastards as possible. Look at them, they are really pathetic. Blizzard states that there are 2 standard melee fighters in the cannibal family, one with a 2-handed cleaver and the other with a light halberd. Then there's the Bruiser, who uses a spiked bat in each hand to hurt and stun players. Finally, swarms with axes and take advantage of the powerful stun to overwhelm you and then feast on your innards. Diablo 4 will likely have many returning and redesigned characters. A page from the recently released art book, The Art of Diablo, was leaked by Twitter user WeakAuras and included a quote from Diablo 4 art director John Mueller confirming that many characters of previous Diablo games will return for Diablo 4. According to the passage, at least this time, the returning characters will look fundamentally different. The leak includes a quote from Mueller explaining how the creative team intends to bring back characters from previous Diablo games. That's what I've always really liked about any kind of IP, letting really talented artists get their hands on things and letting them make their own version of it. We're doing that with a lot of characters in the new game. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.